Well, you have a track called No Way, No How, Not Me that definitely fits the adult entertainment concept, and that is about a guy who's happy with most aspects of his relationship, but his partner has a tendency to try to test his boundaries and push him into some sexual territory that he's not comfortable with, hence No Way, No How, Not Me. Musically it reminds me of an 80s band called The Romantics. You remember them? That's what I like about you, Talking in Your
Oh, I
Sleep.
sort of do. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge listener to pop music in that era, but yeah, and I remember that song when you mentioned it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, to me, it sounds sort of like it almost has like a bubblegum quality. It sounds like some early Beatles to me. It reminds me even of a Monkees tune, you know. But yeah, the lyric is certainly more modern than that, I guess, too.
And a very countrified guitar solo from you on, a pop structure. Likewise, you got a song "Crazy Good."
Yeah,
that one wins the prize for best opening line. I won't forget the night I can't recall.
well, that seems like a country lyric to me. So.
That one has a memorable "less is more" type organ hook and some interesting sound combinations. So those are both good. But the next one I want to play is one you mentioned a moment ago, "Handle Me with Care." This song itself is pretty straightforward, but all the ornamentation seems like a callback to your Pulse and Cadence album. The first time I heard it, I got this mental image of some hack horn arranger falling asleep at his desk, and the ghost of Charles Mingus floating in, and as a joke, finishing the arrangement for him.
Well, that was thanks to Michael Lenhart. He did a fabulous job on that arrangement. He really went deep for that one, I think. I mean, I had told him. Well, it turned out the track itself had a lot of room in it. It was pretty complete with just the very simple three of us playing, and I think there might be organ on it too or something. But it was pretty sparse, and there was a lot of room. And it occurred to me that a horn section would work, and I also had particular direction to point Michael in. I'm a big fan of a lot of the writing that Herbie Hancock did on a couple of fantastic records that don't really get played as much as some of the later stuff he did, but I just think are great. One's called The Prisoner, and the other one's called Speak Like a Child. And he did amazing horn arranging on it. And it's very adventurous and gets a lot of sort of bang for the buck in terms of, he doesn't have that many horns, but he's got all the right notes, and it's very adventurous and gorgeous. So I asked Michael to check those records out and come up with something along those lines, and he really outdid himself. And
but instead of scoring it with the usual sax, trumpet, trombone instrumentation, he scored it for alto flute, bass clarinet, euphonium, and flugelhorn.
Yeah, and that's what's so beautiful about it too. I mean, the sounds are all quirky and unusual, and I think he was hearing the quality of the track, I think, is what led him there. I mean, it's the only thing I sing in falsetto throughout, and so that was already, it was sort of, okay, something different is going on here. And also, there's something about the tone of the bass and all that space, and he's a fan of, he knows so much in terms of horn arranging and what the different horns can do, and yeah, I just think with all that space, I think he knew that to go for some really unusual sounds, there'd be room to hear them. The bass clarinet comes through like that, and so those quirky, the mellower brass stuff.
But it's also the contrast. I mean, it's sort of a "Daddy Don't Live in That New York City No More" kind of standard blues change groove.
It is,
and that's not usually what you would hear that type of horn arrangement matched up with all the intentional dissonance, unusual phrasing, and accents.
It's true, and I particularly love the way he was arranging to respond to the lyrics too. He really does. It goes with the lyrics so well, and it just kind of enhances the subject matter.
Next sentence in my outline: the horns are clearly commenting on the lyrics.
Yeah, they really are. It's beautiful the way he was able to do that.
And you do this heavily tremoloed, slow burn guitar solo. It feels very 50s, very Gretsch. And you really isolate the bass clarinet at the end. But, this is the last track on the album. It's a pretty understated note to go out on musically, but lyrically it's pretty brutal. You know, it's filled with imagery of black eyes, concussions, chipped teeth, stitches, 911 calls, ice packs, scratching, hitting, kicking, broken noses, and most disturbing of all, Stratocaster abuse.
It's a remake of Rolling with the Punches from my first songs record, in a way. It's it's one of those, sort of guys who doesn't know he really shouldn't put up with that kind of thing, but
I would say not. Is all this violence literal or figurative?
Oh no, we're just playing.
I know you guys are, but I mean, the guy, and as you said, there's another thing about, working against type, because as you said, you're affecting your voice in a sort of gentle falsetto, and then this guy's talking about this horrible stuff, and then, the horns are...
Well, that kind of fits in a way. I mean, he's obviously damaged and doesn't know how to take care of himself, so he's a little weak. And maybe that's the right way to sing it. I don't know. That felt right. So I didn't think about it too much.
If you read it on the written page, you go, "Oh, poor guy." But if you listen to the song, you go, "Oh, fun song." So
it's a little sweeter there, yeah.
All right. Well, let's share this extraordinary piece of work from Adult Entertainment. Here's my guest, Jon Herington, with "Handle Me with Care."
Surprise, my head's still reeling. Now my front tooth has another chip, but I'm still smiling. Hope the stitches in my lip don't rip. On 911 I'm dialing. Don't hit me, baby. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Play nice, play fair, handle me with care. I didn't mind it when you threw that brick, but I'm still aching. Thought an ice pack might just do the trick. I was mistaken. Scratches on my arm still hurt, they're still healing. I can hide them with a long sleeve shirt, and I'm not squealing. Don't hit me, baby. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Don't hit me, baby. Yes, I'm a lover, not a fighter. Just kick me, 'cause I know if I wanna smell that rose, a thorn might just prick me. Don't hit
Well, as brutal as that was, I'm afraid it gets even worse. Slaughtered by Love. How do you come up with a title like that?
Well, like I said, when Dennis and I were getting together, we were taking the idea of songs like She Reminded Me of You and E-Girl and Ain't Got You, and ones that had sort of hinted at this sort of lyrical approach. But we were trying to just up the ante and just push the envelope. We did this thing with doctor's orders. We tried to come up with the sort of metaphorical hooks, and and so then somehow, defense and war, like war terms got into this one, and it became Slaughter.
Yeah, let's review: strike, defense, blitz, surrender, retreat, GI Joe, camouflage, even waterboarding. It makes "Handle Me with Care" seem like a walk in the park.
That's right.
Musically, it's very Rolling Stones. Very sort of Beast of Burden meets Tumbling Dice.
Again, that's another very grateful tribute. We couldn't resist.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm not going to play it, but I'll remind my listeners who know from listening to the show, when somebody has a new release, I'm not just going to give it to you guys. You got to dip into the old pocket. Speaking of which, on the last album, you had a track called "The Bucket Song" about soliciting money from the audience. On the new one, you continue that fine tradition of shameless, superficial money lust. Well, there's a song called "Give Me Some Green." That has a sort of Lieber and Stoller quality to it, like something that might have been written for the Coasters.
Well, that's interesting. Because Fred Owens is on that track. Unfortunately, he was the victim of a typo on the credit. It's Owens, not Bowens. And it's funny you should mention the Coasters, because Frank, the drummer, and I met when we were working on Smokey Joe's Cafe, a Broadway show that I was subbing on, that Frank was a regular on. And Fred was one of the featured singers in that cast, and you can't do Coasters and Temptations music without, and all that Lieber and Stoller stuff, without like that beautiful big low voice, and Fred has the real deal. So
yeah, you got a slew of guest vocalists supplementing the three-man core. You got Gina Gold, Jenny Schaefer, Fred Owens, Ellis Harrington. I'm going to guess the matching last name is not a coincidence.
No, it's not. She's my daughter.
Nice.
We needed regular voices. These are not, except for Fred, these are not trained singers, and we kind of wanted like a gang of girls, basically, for a couple of these tunes, and we wanted really like an untrained sound, but and that kind of just the energy of girls' voices, and they served us marvelously.
Well, it was very effective, and as usual, it doesn't end there. I mean, I love the spirit of the trombone playing on this one.
Yeah, Dan sounded great on that.
Yeah, very, very sort of uninhibited, and the solo section sounds like Glenn Miller gone Hawaiian.
Yeah, that's a pretty wacky one. That one was a fun one to try. I wasn't going to do like a 4-part guitar thing there. I started with one little line, and I was just going to play a slide guitar solo, and I was trying to find a simple melody that would work. And then I got that done, and I said, "Oh, that's pretty good," but I wonder if it could use a double or something. So I put up another track, and I tried something, and I tried a couple harmony notes, and I said, "Oh, that's kind of cool. I wonder if it could use another couple of voices." So it starts out sort of simple, but it does kind of coalesce into this sort of it is a little sort of it's almost a parody of that big band kind of style or something, or almost like Andrews Sisters or Boswell Sisters kind of a group vocal harmony, but all done with the slides. And again, it was an attempt to let it go over the top and take I used some really wide vibrato, just try to make it silly and funny and just have a sort of a powerful effect,
Well, it's that spirit of experimentation. It does sound very 40s. And there again, the tune's almost like calypso, so it's another unexpected thing.
It's almost like a ska vibe, It's
right.
It's this kind kind of a quick tempo, and the horns kind of lean that way a little, and a bit of a bizarre hybrid, I'd say, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's flirting with calypso, ska, reggae without actually going there.
I got to try to sell it to a bank.
Yeah, well, it definitely falls into the humor category. So get a bank with a sense of humor.
Yeah.
And unlike some of your more poetic lyrical excursions, this one is comparatively direct and unambiguous.
Yeah.
So let's check it out from Adult Entertainment. This is "Give Me Some Green."
Green, baby, give me some green. Life's more fun when you got some money, honey. Life's more fun when you got some money. Life's more fun when you got some money, honey.
Green baby.
Give me some green. Life's more fun when you got some money. Yes, it's the truth. No, it isn't very funny. I know a way to make the cloudy sky turn sunny.
Green baby.
Give me some green. A little money each month I can clear into the bank where it won't go for beer. But after 12 months at the end of the year, there's still no
Green baby.
give me some green. Life's more fun when you got some money, honey. Life's more fun when you got some money. Life's more fun when you got some money, honey.
Green baby.
Give me some green. Love is more important than a dollar bill. I've always felt that way, and I feel that way still. Thank God I love my money, and I always will. Give me some
Green baby.
Give me some green. It doesn't matter if you're black or you're white, pink or purple, too dark or too bright.
That's right.
There's just one color that makes everything right. Give me some
Green baby.
Give me some green. Life's more fun when you got some money, honey. Life's more fun when you got some money. Life's more fun when you got some money, honey.
Green baby.
Give me some green. Money can't buy happiness, you've heard that refrain. I'm sure that it's the truth, but let me be very plain. If I'm gonna be unhappy, just one thing can ease my pain.
Green baby.
Give me some green. Life's more fun when you got some money, honey. Life's more fun when you got some money. Life's more fun when you got some money, honey.
Cold hard cash.
Life's more fun when you got some money, honey. Life's more fun when you got some money. Life's more fun when you got some money, honey. Green baby, give me some green.
So venturing into all these various musical styles, requires versatility, not just from you, but from the players in your band. Frank's drumming is solid and enthusiastic throughout the album and, all your previous albums. So clearly you have a lot of options in the drumming department. What is it about his playing that makes you want to keep him around?
Well, it's interesting. We've been at it for, I guess, probably 30-some years by now, off and on. And it's mostly that we've just grown comfortable working together after all this time. If he's not available and we have a gig booked, I have to use another drummer. And I quickly, even though I've had some excellent drummers sub for him, I quickly realized that I missed something about him. And I think it's just, it's easy to sort of forget and take for granted because there have been so many, because we worked together for so many years. But there is something about Dennis, Frank, and me together that there's I think all that shared experience really gives us a kind of comfort level and a confidence as a group, that really is, a welcome and powerful thing. And like I don't really know how powerful it is until that's gone, and then I say, oh, wow, you know,
Well, yeah,
this isn't like it normally is, you know, and so yeah, it's a subtle thing, you know. But I think one of the great things about Frank is that you know, he's willing to sort of like try stuff that we'll throw at him. I mean, often we'll have some ideas about a groove or something that he should do, and you know, he's happy to sort of sit there and try to figure it out as wacky as it might be, you know, because it might not be. We're not drummers, so we're hearing sounds and effects and asking him to incorporate that. So he has to kind of figure out like, oh, can that be done, or how would I do it? And he, you know, he takes the time to do it, and is happy to, you know, to try to accommodate us, which has been kind of fun. So we can use the drums as sort of an arrangement tool when we work with him as well. And plus, he's a singer on the gig, and that's extremely valuable. We got a lot of sound for three guys just because we end up using the background vocals as sort of another instrument, you know,
Right.
as if it were a keyboard player or something. You know, he's an asset, no question about it.
Well, now that we've heard what you have to say about working with him, let's hear what he has to say about working with you.
I love working with Jon. No, Jon is great. Jon who? Oh, Herington. Yeah. It's great. You know, it's so much fun playing with those guys and recording. I haven't gotten the record yet, so I don't know if it's great. I'll take your word for it, Dan, that it's great. But I haven't gotten it yet. So, you know, but I'm just a drummer. You know, what am I going to tell you? Anyway, enjoy your time talking to Jon about the record, and maybe, you know, if he pushed the record, we sell enough of them, maybe we could do, you know, a proper tour at some point. That would be fun. That'd be a lot of fun. All right, man. Ciao.
Well, thank you, Frank. I love his line reading of Jon who?
Yeah, that's good.
And speaking of touring, what are your plans in that regard? Are you considering venturing out beyond New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania this time around?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we've got a handful of gigs booked in September and one in August, and we'll see how it feels and see how it goes and see what kind of time there is. Mostly, I've got too much road work booked with other people. I'm working with Steely Dan a lot. Got a lot of work coming up with Madeline Peru as well, and those are long time gigs of mine I've been doing for many years, and I really enjoy both of them. They're quite different from one another, and they're quite different from me working with my band. So I wouldn't trade any of them away. I really
No.
doing all of them. I do wish we had more time to do my band, but it so far it doesn't seem like the opportunity to take it out of the area is all that likely. Part of it is because because I'm working so much with other people on the road, it's hard to book my own band far in advance, and that would be required, I think, to do any serious touring, and we would need a serious booking agency, and they would probably need some guarantee that we were going to fill clubs and et cetera, and because we haven't done much, we haven't really ventured past driving distances from New York. That's kind of an unknown, and we haven't really tackled that yet. And I hope we get a chance, but right now I'm kind of swamped with all the traveling with
Sure, that makes sense. My thought is, in your Bougieville lyrics, you name check a lot of cool places: Paris, Tuscany, Tokyo, Brussels, Bordeaux. I'm thinking Frank ought to create Frank Pagano's tribute to the Jon Herington Band, and do a Bougieville tour. Hit all those spots. Maybe skip Sing Sing though.
Yeah, maybe.
And just a quick word to Susan, because I know she's listening. Let's send Frank a disc, okay? I'm not saying don't charge him. He's a drummer. You can probably charge him double. Now, can you imagine working that hard on an album and somebody gives you the album, they say, "Hey, $15, man."
I hope he's gotten a copy.
Yeah, I'm sure by now. Yeah.
When did you talk to him?
It's been a little while.
All right.
It's been a few weeks. I got it early. I'm sure he does. He's
got one by now.
Oh, we know he has the sense of humor that came shining through. So, plus he was there. He should know better than anyone what the album's like. Yeah, well, next we're going to check out another example of his fine drumming, a song you mentioned. You've got a percussion credit yourself on the track. You're playing the cowbell, and it's a fairly finessed part. It's not the stereotypical, clonk, clonk quarter notes. Was it too complicated for Frank to play?
Yeah, I don't really remember that one. Which tune is this we're talking about?
Doctor's Orders.
Oh, Doctor's Orders, yeah. Yeah, I think I probably just decided it needed it, and he wasn't around, and a cowbell was.
Yeah, but it's not the Will Ferrell clonk clonk thing that you hear. It's people will hear it. I won't try and imitate.
A little honky tonk women vibe, I think.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, you've got 3 different people credited with the horn arrangement. So did you each pick one horn or something?
No, it was Dennis and I had very clear idea what we wanted, so we sketched out a part in a concert key part, and then had Michael do the voicing for the section itself. So.
But no flugelhorns or euphoniums this time.
I think that was pretty straight ahead.
Well, this one's back in the adult entertainment groove. I mean, lyrically, it's about equating sex, possibly even full-blown lust, with a doctor-sanctioned prescription.
That's right.
Yet another recording. It sounds like you had as much fun performing it as listeners have hearing it.
Yeah, and writing it was fun too.
Yeah, I'll bet. That's what's so cool about it, because they say the spirit of fun comes through. And the songs are, short and tight, but they have all this interesting music packed in. So it's like, I can't imagine. Have there been any official reviews come in yet?
No, not yet. Some of them should happen once the album is in wide release. It's been about a month's worth of pre-release that you can get it basically just on my website in advance kind of pre-release copy and special packaging and signed and all that. But I think on June 14th it'll be available on Amazon and iTunes and everywhere.
Yeah.
I think reviewers are probably waiting.
Well, as I discussed with Susan, my plan was to record it before the release date and then air this after it's available everywhere. So
Good.
So people listening now, go get the dang thing. And in the meantime, let's spin Doctor's Orders. I kind of question who your doctor is. It might be that Nick Riviera guy on The Simpsons, but let's listen to it and see what we think.
Doctor's orders. The doctor told me get some fresh air. I find it hard with you lying right there. Doctor's orders. Doctor's orders. The doctor told me to get me some rest, but I'm up all night pleasing you 'cause I'm obsessed. Doctor's orders. Doctor's orders. You know I got a new prescription. I got the doctor's sign. Says I need a lot of love and that suits me just fine. Doctor's orders. Doctor's orders. Doctor's orders. You could use a little acupuncture, baby. Doctor's orders. You seem a little stressed. Doctor's orders. Maybe it's time for a little deep tissue massage. Doctor's orders.